Hi, we are here today to talk about the amazing lights of love that our beautiful Kimberly Rose shines on this world. Kimberly has been a breathwork coach and inspiration to so many for almost 16 years already. So, Kallie, would you like to introduce her?
Mhm. This is Kimberly Rose, and I have some questions for her. When did you,
Awesome.
when did you
I
start doing breath work?
I started doing breath work when I was 22 years old. I just wasn't feeling very good. And I prayed and I said, bring me something, a life coach or something to help me feel better. And the next day, I met my breath work coach.
Wow.
Yeah. And it saved my life. I just knew after one breathwork session and how good I felt. I just thought, wow, why is no one teaching others this? This is one of the most powerful tools God's given us.
Hmm. My next question is, what's your favorite breath to teach people?
Um, there's so many different breathing techniques. And my favorite one is just to inhale for 2 or 3 seconds and softly exhale.
That's a good breath work.
Hmm.
How does it make you feel to do breath work with all other people?
Here's your question.
You want to say that one again?
Hmm. How
Okay.
does it make you feel to teach everybody all your important breath work?
I love to show people this breathwork tool because it makes everyone feel so much better. And I just love I love sharing it with everyone. It's so rewarding and it gives me my purpose in life and I feel like I'm doing something good for humanity. And every day I get messages from people from all over the world how a free breathwork session that they found on my YouTube or Instagram, how it changed their life or how it saved them, or maybe if they weren't feeling good and they did the breathwork session and it just inspired them so much because it helped them feel better. So once people feel better, then they can go out and do better. And so that's why I love to teach people breath work.
Do you like breathing with nature?
Yes, I just went on a walk for the last 30 minutes and did some breath work while I was walking in the forest. And absolutely, that's one of the best places to unplug and get out and breathe in that fresh oxygen. Yes,
Yeah, it's fun to breathe and breath when you're in nature.
yes.
Did you just get back from a walk
Uh-huh.
too? Did you do breath work on your walk too?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I found a lucky quarter before I did this and
Oh, you did?
huh?
Yes, you did. Did you want to ask her about when? So we found Kimberly Rose at a time when we were going through a really hard time, and she was who Kallie was inspired by. She is Kallie's like a mentor and the inspiration. She's Kallie's hero, and she looks up to her so much. And so when we were on her first Instagram live, when we first found her, and she actually reached out helping our family. And what was do you remember the exercise that she taught us about our symptoms in our body? Do you want to talk about that with her? That was the one that you wrote down.
This about the symptom in your body thing. Wait, what does it say?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So the question is we do a little bit of deeper breathing and the question once we connect if there's a pain or a symptom in the body that doesn't feel comfortable and we ask the body, your temple, we ask it if this symptom could speak or if this headache could speak, what it really needs to say is. So yeah, so you did that process.
Yep.
And do you remember what it said?
No.
This was 2 years ago, and Kallie was getting really chronic stomach aches, and we were going through a really that stressful time that we had found you with, and I was shocked because all of a sudden at 5 years old, she looked at me and she said, "My stomach hurts, is saying my body is saying I'm tired." So then I pushed her bedtime, like moved her bedtime a half an hour earlier every day until she was getting a full hour more sleep, and her stomach aches were gone.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Remember that? That's
No.
when you were 5. That was a while ago. But that was
Yeah.
and then how do you feel? So Kimberly Rose does group breathwork sessions, and she has one actually coming up this Saturday that are you really excited about?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do they make you feel doing them?
It makes me just feel so good that other people are teaching breathwork too,
Yes.
and I'm not the only one.
No.
Yes. But you are the world's youngest breath worker, and I'm so proud of you. And you're helping so many people. People don't even know that they're not breathing. So look at all the people you're helping. I'm so proud of you, Kallie.
Thank you.
You're an angel.
You guys are both on a beautiful mission together, and it is so beautiful to see how your two missions like come together and your breath work both comes together, and you girls are very powerful.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Do you want to tell Kimberly Rose thank you so much?
Thank you so much.
Do you have any advice for our viewers about breath work or connecting with your body, or what do you think would be great for them to know that she knows?
That she does sound bowls?
Sound bowls with breath work, sounds with breath.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you can do you can just take a few deep breaths, and you can make sounds when you exhale and hum. It produces nitric oxide, which is a very calming effect through the body. So when you take a deep breath in, you can make a sound bowl as you exhale, and it really calms the body faster than when we just breathe in and breathe out. So that's also a really fun practice.
In your practice, what are like the main like modalities that you help people through?
Yeah, so I help a lot of people with anxiety, depression, certain toxins that might be in the body, Lyme disease, mold, cancers. Just I work with veterans with PTSD. Um, and there's so many different types of breath work now. So I try to use all of them as much as I can. It just depends on the person and in a private session, kind of what's going on. So
It's beautiful.
but this type of breath work, it's so gentle. When you do breath work, you want to make sure that it feels comfortable. It shouldn't feel like pushed or forced. That might not be a good type of breath work for you watching. Just, so this type of breath work is very gentle, but very transformative.
And I can just say for myself, the last session that we did, I felt so calm. My husband, all of us did, even our 3-year-old did it with us, and we felt so calm. And then after, it was so interesting to feel that release of things that you don't even know are bothering your body or bothering your spirit. It just,
Yes.
your body just recycles it.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people say, like during or after a breath work session. Almost 90% of people say, wow, I had no idea that was bothering me. That thing that happened 2 months ago or 2 years ago or 20 years ago, I had no idea that I was so angry about it, and it just released. And that's why I love breath work, because it's so safe and it's so gentle, and breathing is for free. And we have this tool at any time, even if you're sitting at a traffic light or in line at the grocery store, you can just spend a couple minutes taking some deeper breaths, and it'll really help you through the moment.
Yes. How often do you recommend for like the maximum results truly? And I know you post so much about the benefits, so I have to remember this of like
Yeah.
actually breathing the oxygen and how that's energy for our cells to
Mhm.
function. How often do you recommend? Or
Yeah. So I do about 5 minutes a day, every day. Whether it's 5 minutes in the morning when I wake up, or if I'm triggered or angry or annoyed during the day, um, I'll do 5 minutes of breathing here and there, just a few times a day. Um, I get a full hour session in once a week just because so many people are so sick, and I'm getting a lot of work now after 15 and a half years. I'm finally really getting booked out.
we're so
So yeah, so I have to give my body a place to release stress and triggers and people's really heavy stories and what they're going through. So I do 1 hour a week, but I have tons of free breath work sessions on my YouTube, Breathe with Kimberly Rose, and in my link in my bio on my Instagram, Breathe with Kimberly Rose. And once a month, I do a $10 breathwork session on the Zoom. So that's this Saturday. So it's a $50 value, but I like to keep it super affordable for people who maybe can't afford to do private sessions with me. And for $10, it's just, you can get that calming and relaxed and let go. You can let go of all the stuff that's going on that's, you know, bothering your mind, your heart, your body, and you'll feel really clear after a session.
yeah, you felt a lot of benefits. Kallie, when
Yeah.
she was doing the session with you, she started doing paintings and art, and she said that it got her just creativity really flowing.
Oh, yeah. And that's one of my favorite things. Like if you're stuck on anything, or, a lot of people think that they have ADHD, and, you could just be bored. And like whenever I don't want to do something, usually, or organize something, usually I'll lie down and breathe for a little bit, and it just moves all the energy out. And then before you know it, I have my whole house organized and clothes put away, and, all the list of to dos, they just get done. So it does get things flowing in your life, and creativity is probably the number one thing it gets going.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
cool that you can use your breath in such different ways to be whatever it is that you need. Like if you need, motivation to clean, or you need energy, you can do breath
Yeah.
work. If you
Yep.
need to go to bed.
Yeah. If you need to go to bed, it's like breath work is the all in one. Like you can use it for anything. You can use it for forgiveness.
Yeah.
You can use it for letting something go from your ancestry, like unworthiness that's been passed down the lineage. You have no idea what the session is going to do until
Wow.
you're lying down, and it's just you and your breathing and your connection with the Holy Spirit, or whatever you believe in, and you just get all the answers. It's an all in one. If you have chronic symptoms in the body and you just can't let go of that headache, or you can't seem to figure it out, you've done everything, you've spent all your money trying to get better, breath work is all in one. It is such a big deal, and it's definitely becoming more mainstream now.
Yes.
So
And you're a big part
Yeah.
of that. You're bringing it to so many.
People.
And Kimberly has spoken at so many conferences and conventions and really helped people. The messages you receive are just, you're doing
aw,
God's work. It's beautiful.
thank you. I know. I thank you for saying that. And it's not an easy path. I was really mad at God a long time ago when God's like, "Hey, you're gonna breathe people," and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, this is almost worse. It's so rewarding, but
Yeah.
it's almost worse than being an artist. Like
Yeah.
I would rather be an artist than be a breath worker because, at least you can get paid to be an artist. It
Right.
took me, I mean, I had 3 jobs for the first 13 years outside of breath work. Like I just could not get people to do this.
Yeah.
And it took a long time. And the people who taught me who've been doing it since the 60s,
Yeah.
they, how, like, I don't even know how they kept it going. It's amazing. Like they were the catalysts. And um I I've had people say like I'm a catalyst for breath work for online because there was a moment when I was on the road and I had like $20 in my account and I would live and go from session to session, or it was all by referral and I had enough money to put gas in my car and maybe get a hotel room, or I'd have to sleep on someone's couch. Like, please God, give me food and a place to stay. So when that happened, I'm like, there's got to be a better way to do this. I'm not making any money doing this. And it just costs so much to travel. And then God's like, do it on Zoom,
Yeah.
do it over the phone. So, way before the COVID times and where people are all on Zoom now,
Yeah.
I mean, in 2010, I started doing Zoom breathwork sessions and phone sessions. So that was kind of unheard of in the breathwork community. And I tried to tell everyone you can breathe people over the phone, and they didn't believe me. So I've been doing the whole Zoom thing for over a decade.
Wow. So what
So
was your driving force? Like, what is your motivation for people to keep going if they're stuck or if they're in these hard places but it's your calling, it's your
yeah.
passion.
Yeah, well, I can't convince anyone to do this. I get a lot of skeptics, which is, I was very skeptical also. I'm like, breathing, I already breathe. I don't need to breathe anymore.
Yeah.
But I get a lot of people who have totally tried everything, done everything, spent thousands of dollars, and they're kind of like at a rock bottom.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like their last resort.
Yeah.
So I am all by referral, which is amazing,
Yeah.
that people share. They have a very transformative private session, and then they know someone who's not doing well, or someone who's stuck and they just can't seem to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so thanks to my Instagram and just doing those free 5-minute breathers, and guided breathing sessions on there, it really helps people open up to me. And when they hear my story, or they are like, oh, this breath work can help me through this. It can help if I need to get clarity. It can help with symptoms if I don't know which way to go or my purpose in life. I mean, it can help with anything. But yeah, those are the kind of people I get.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
have any advice as like an entrepreneur in like a field that, all the pushback that you got? Do you have any advice for entrepreneurs like Kallie or, anybody that's pushing through and saying like, I know this is my purpose, even if it's hard, even if, you're sleeping on somebody's couch to make it work.
Yeah. Well, you just have to keep going, rest when needed. Um,
Yes.
I kept having these visions come in, and you know, I I've just always heard God speak to me. And every time that God's like, "Hey, go do this," and then I go do it, just the doors open up. So I have to, it's like it's kind of my purpose. I have to listen to that voice, even if I don't always listen. Eventually it wakes me up. But and you just have to keep going and take good care of yourself and rest when needed. You're gonna it's not an easy path being an entrepreneur. The highs are highs and the lows are very low. And I've had to learn a lot how to just trust God. Like if I don't have work coming in, I know that's a rest time and I need to get rebooted and grounded, maybe go more on some hikes and take a break. But it's like I'm trying to make a living doing what I do. So sometimes I don't listen to those breaks. And I'm like, oh, I got to keep going, got to keep going. But I'm learning, I'm learning when, so now I'm booked out and now I'm so busy. I have to find breaks during the day. But you just being an entrepreneur, you just have to keep going and don't stop, but rest. You have to rest.
Yes.
And it's all going to work out.
Yeah.
So you just, it's like anything. You just have to keep going. It takes people about a decade to trust what you're doing. Like people in the area,
Yeah.
a lot of people talk smack. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
But people always watch. They watch. And
Yeah.
even the people in this small town that I'm from, they've always watched what I do, and they're always watching. And it took over a decade for people to trust me here and to be like, okay, I think I want a session with you. And, it just takes time. But it's a lot easier to do this work through social media because people don't know me, they don't know me locally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I would say. Just rest and just keep going, even if it's 5 minutes a day.
Yeah.
So
That's beautiful. And it's interesting with Kallie and I, like through this, I just hope this inspires somebody when we are like at this point, we're like, it'll be like rush, 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 like what you say, like so busy. And then all of a sudden it's like this lull. And every time in that lull, I'm like, okay, Kallie, like now is the time that we focus on like us and we have huge growth. And then that growth is what we need for the next phase. And
yeah,
always like
yeah,
trust and breath work. And you like leading us to that openness of trusting our own body has like everything that you learn from somebody, like take with you because you've taught us, Kimberly, so immensely much. And we
and
so
the world needs more breath workers. There's just not enough.
yeah,
And just keep doing what you're doing. And yeah, there are those lull times. But when you take people and you're doing what you're doing, it's a lot of energy
yeah,
and it's very emotional and it's very triggering. It's not an easy path to do this, but you're on the right track. And just keep going. And if you get discouraged, just reach out to me and we'll send some texts. And I have people who support me. I have my group of people when I'm not doing good and I'm like, is this what God wants me to do? Like, then why am I not booked out, or like it, and then when the mind kind of creeps in, I've got my ladies who I reach out to, and they keep me going. Like, don't forget, like, just take a break. Maybe it's that downtime, and then like within 2 weeks, I'm booked out again. So it's not.
yeah. I just think as entrepreneurs, for anyone starting a new business, like this is something we didn't understand in the beginning. Is like I never saw a business as like growth of like your spirit and your soul. I just saw it as your external product, And so like I want to encourage anyone starting a business to like prepare for the lulls and then prepare for the super busy times because it balances so beautifully, and trust in the lulls of like your growth and take that time to do breath work. Even if you're an entrepreneur selling, makeup or whatever it is that you're selling, take that time and really grow internally because then that growth will propel you.
Yeah, and we need that downtime. Everyone needs to rest.
Yes. Yes.
And we signed up to come here during this time. We need as much rest as possible.
Yeah.
It's just a wild time. And people they're going to need us, and they're going to need whatever it is that you came here to do.
Yeah.
No matter what it is. And so
I tell everybody that we explain breathwork to her, that we share this with her, that we lead workshops, whatever it is that we're doing, that like this is the ultimate true self-care. Like I know that word gets a lot of pushback, but like it's the ultimate way to nourish your body.
yeah, and it feels like once you get the hang of it, it feels like you're being massaged on the inside of your body through the
And it
oxygen.
does.
It feels so good when you get to that place. And
Yes.
it's so fun to have someone guide you through like a breath work meditation. So then you can just sit back and just, focus on the breathing and I'm obsessed with it. It's the only thing that I have found, and I've traveled all over. I've done a lot in this lifetime, and it's one of my top therapies to do.
Yeah.
Every session I sit up, every session, and I'm like, holy crap, how is that just from oxygen?
Yes.
That is the best thing I have ever found in my life. And I have intuitive, psychic, I have everything.
Yeah.
I have the best doctors. I have everything you could ever need. And it's my favorite.
Like the medicine is within you. You are
Yeah.
the medicine. Like you are.
Yeah. And I think when it was written, our bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit. When you breathe, you really that I'm like, wow, that's what that means. Like you can talk to your body, like your body is God. You
Yes.
can talk, you can get all the answers. Just, I know that sounds real wooey, but
No.
you can get all the answers just from lying down for 15 or 20 minutes and breathing.
Yes.
I mean, I get people who just, they can hear God speak to them when they breathe. And so I don't talk about that very much because
Yes.
people probably won't believe me. So it's very private, and I keep that for like private sessions, you know. I don't share that very
Once
often.
people do it, then they understand it. Like we talk about it to friends and family and such, about how like you can feel, like Kallie feels God's guidance. I feel God's guidance. You hear
Yeah.
it. And then once people do the breath work with us, they're like, oh my gosh, like you're right. Like I've been struggling with XXX, whatever in my life, and I don't feel guidance. And all of a sudden
Yeah.
I do this, and it's like everything I need is just
Right. It's
quiet
right
out.
there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
quieted out the world.
And sometimes, like when I don't get an hour breath work session every week, when I don't get it in, my um and then I start getting angry and insecure, or things start happening in my life and I'm not in that flow.
Yes.
When you start breathing, you get into that God flow, you get into your flow, your purpose and everything. And when I don't do breath work, I get angry and easily triggered. And then when I lie down and breathe, it clears it out, and then I can hear again. It's like 100% full connection. It's on. And
Yeah.
so, which is just amazing. I get a session in next Thursday. Actually, I'm getting a session. I can't wait. I mean, I can do it on my own, but I hire someone.
Yeah.
Um,
That's your testimony right there to how
yeah,
much
yeah, uh,
it's all the breath workers support one another. It's like
yeah,
this industry of like, at least like like you and Kallie, for instance, it's like you build one another up, and you help each other. Like you said, like if you need somebody, text me. Like that's how we
yeah,
feel the same about you. Like we're all here as like warriors to support and uplift one another, and we all need to use our gifts and our services that God has given us to help each other.
yeah, yeah. And it's it's not easy being on this planet. There's
No.
times. So we do need, and the breathing, it just brings in all that energy and all that love and goodness. I can't say I just can't say enough about it.
And you
It
teach.
saved my life in 1 hour. I was literally I told God, if you don't bring me someone, I'm gonna die. So bring me. And then the next day I met my breathwork coach.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
The universe and God sends us what we need if only we ask.
Yes. Yep.
Great time to ask is during breath work, because then your energy is matching what you're asking for. Because if we're nervous and anxious and have all these thoughts of like, oh, I have to go here and now I have to do this, that energy is nervousness, and you're going to give out nervousness and get back nervousness.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's beautiful. And another thing that you teach that I really look up to too is that you teach about like the how we can like literally go back to our birth, like like reprogram our brains to a safeness at that time. And you're teaching that to people all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, like in traditional therapy, they don't take you back to your conception and womb experience and your birth. They
And
just
that's
don't do
stored
that.
in our bodies.
And yeah, it's like if you were not planned or wanted and let's say your parents were going to give you up for adoption and they're like, "Oh, we changed our mind. We're going to keep the baby." I mean, the baby knows the entire time it's in the womb, they don't want me.
Yeah.
So from that far back, they will not feel wanted their entire life until maybe they do a breath work session, or they will attract things like where people don't want them. And it's so deeply rooted in the body, in the organs, in the brain. Like those really deep thoughts that we have are really deep insecurities. And I love to take people back to their birth and what happened, because we learn everything in the womb.
Yeah.
And so um or we learn about trust, relationships, money, how were things financially when we were in the womb, and we learn everything in the womb.
Yeah.
And so why go back to the womb? It helps to lift those deeply rooted patterns and very deep hurtful beliefs that we might have carried or attached to while we were in our mother's womb.
And we don't even know it.
Yeah, we don't even, a lot of people, and they don't have to know what happened in the womb. I can pick up on it in a session, but it's
And
so powerful.
these
It's so deeply rooted, and so this helps to release those really deep roots.
yeah, what beautiful work you do.
Thank you. I'm obsessed with, I'm like, why are they not teaching this in college? This is so big. So I got to train with a woman who has been studying people's births for over like 55 years. And I learned from her. She taught me everything, and excuse me, I'm so grateful for her.
So how can we as like a generation of people having children, have the best possible experience for our children, through empowerment and positive words and breathing? Does the breath work, which I know the answer, but like can you explain the impact of like breath work for a pregnancy for the next generation?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, like when women get postpartum, um, and it when a woman is pregnant, um, she's automatically healing her birth trauma.
Yeah.
That baby is clearing out tons of stuff because there's so much light in their belly. They're angels, they're in the body. And so that's what, like, if a mom gets really, really sick while they're pregnant,
Yeah.
that means this is what they taught us in breathwork school, that baby is clearing out like the mom's stuff.
Wow.
When a mom gets really sick, it means it's a very angelic child in there.
I had hyperemesis with Kallie, and I had a traumatic birth. I was stuck in this whole, so the fact that you say that is, and look at Kallie now.
So, you know, none of the work, like, moms are doing enough. It's not to put pressure on moms or to blame.
Right.
Moms are innocent, dads are innocent. We're all doing the best we can with what we have, with what we know. But I breathe a lot of pregnant women.
Yeah.
So even at birth, if the baby gets stuck or breach or anything like that, they'll do a breathwork session or call me in, and the baby will turn during the delivery in 1 hour.
You should be teaching these in the hospital. You
I
know what I
know.
mean? Like
I
giving.
know. I wish there's no money in it, so they're not.
Right. I know it's almost like I something I would love to do is like there's a doula to have a breath worker there with the
Yeah,
mom.
yeah. I actually train doulas.
Oh,
I've been training more
wow.
doulas this last year than ever
You're
before.
so amazing. Look at you.
Yeah.
Think about how many
Well,
lives.
I love showing people this, and so um they get to help the moms during, all the trimesters and everything. So, but like let's say most moms when they're pregnant, they only do one session the whole pregnancy, just one.
Yeah.
And for the most part, it's all been a successful, smooth delivery because the baby is starting to carry all the mom stuff. And it's really cool watching the baby do breath work also, because it's just shocking. It just jolts, and
Right.
it's releasing any burdens, or if the mom's upset with the dad, all this stuff gets triggered. And
Yeah.
um, if the mom's angry with the dad and she's carrying it, will you'll see the baby releasing the burdens. You'll see it. And it is so fun. Breath work is such a big deal. You can use it for anything, but um uh, moms, they just carry so much, and dads. If the family breathes together, it helps release a lot of the stress. And then the baby, there'll be less complications if everyone's breathing.
That is so, and how powerful that you are teaching this and empowering women, because I never would have known these things if you're not sharing, and you're sharing them on such a platform that is creating such, you're like the start of the wave of all these
Yeah.
things coming.
Yeah,
It's
I love showing people. I love training people. I found a way to train people in 4 days. So it took me like 2 years of trainings and just
yeah,
close to 60 or 80 grand just pouring into breath work. And I was like, it I can train people in 4 days how to do this. And it'll save them thousands of dollars.
yes,
So they don't have to do what I did. So
yes.
by the end of 4 days, you know how to take someone through a session, you know how to take people through the trauma, and you know how to guide people into their healing.
That is
So
beautiful. Well, we thank you so much for all the lights of love that you shine so bright.
thank you. You're
Well,
so amazing to me. Thank you
thank
so much.
you. You're truly sent by God to us.
Oh, I'm so proud of you, and you're doing such a beautiful job raising your girls.
Thank you.
And they're like, I just love seeing what you ladies are doing together. And the world needs more breath workers, so it's not an easy path,
Yeah.
but just keep going and have fun with it. When it's not fun, take a break.
Yes. I think that's what makes it so exciting, is that it's like it's Callie's dream and it's Callie's mission. So it's like keeping it lighthearted, and it's so important. Like, she's taught me so much about that child inside of me, of the playfulness of
Yeah,
being an entrepreneur. Like, don't take everything serious, mom. Come and play, like
yeah, yeah, definitely have fun with it. And yeah, thanks for being there.
thank you
And
for being here for
you
us.
girls are amazing. I love all your messages you send me, and it helps uplift me, because we all need that support.
In the video, say thank you, Kimberly.
Thank you, Kimberly, for doing this video with me.
Anytime. I enjoy it so much, Kallie.
Just say God bless you.
God bless you.
You too, beautiful.
Okay, hold on.